From BS and Beer Media, it's Top of the Bleachers with Jason and Tucker.
Handoff, Smith coming right, trying to outrun the coverage, makes a cut, gets it. Oh, he's still going all the way. He's going to score. He's got the five.
Let's see what the guys are talking about today.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome in the Top of the Bleachers. We are live on December 30th? It's a Monday. What's up, man? Today we're going to talk a little bit about some NFL, a little NBA, a little college basketball, a little bit of everything, college football. Before we do,
hit that like and subscribe. Follow us on the Discord.
Discord link is in the description. There should be an invite there.
Down here somewhere. I don't know.
Come hang out with us.
Come hang out with us. I was not very good this weekend on the Discord. I found myself alone all weekend, and Lacey took some of her family and went to Oklahoma City, went to the Thunder game, got a new hat out of it. And so I was at home by myself a lot. And I found out that when I'm home by myself, it's really hard for me to keep my eyes open. So I missed a lot of what I would watch the first quarter of something and then wake up and it would be like 4 minutes left in the fourth. And I'm like, wow, what happened? So
that happens to me a lot too. Yeah. That happens to me a lot too. My first question is, why didn't you go to the game too?
I had to work. Saturday, her nephews, Reese and Grayson, they're 14. They just got their learner's permits. My gosh, man, that happened quick. Anyway, she got them flight time at one of these places that you go, and it's instead of like jumping out of an airplane, you get in this like wind tunnel and you float around, you know?
Yeah.
So she got them flight time on that, and so they had to be there on Saturday at a certain time to do that. And then the ball game wasn't until Sunday night, and I had to work Saturday, and there was no way they could make their flight time if they waited on me. So I didn't get to go. So
boo.
Oklahoma City against Memphis. Oklahoma City put a butt whooping on them, but Memphis they got like the Orlando bug going. They got like half their crew that's hurt.
Injured.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Because like their top scorer was Desmond Bain for Memphis. I mean, when your top scorer is Desmond Bain, it's not you don't have a great lineup out there. True.
Did you see Edie? Did Edie play?
I don't know. I didn't ask. They did see Isaiah Joe played pretty much the whole game, and then Jay Will came back off of injury, so he got to play like the whole fourth quarter because they got him on limited minutes right now. So she got to see both the Arkansas boys play, so that was good. And then they got there early enough. They were like, we should have went down to the floor and got autographs. And I said, yeah, you should have. I said, as soon as I walked in and saw them warming up, I just started calling the Hogs and woo pig, hey, Jay Will.
Yeah, you got an autograph probably for sure.
Yeah, and they got me a poster for my wall, and you know, I made out, but I didn't get to go.
Nice. Well, I got that. Remember I told you I was getting a puzzle? I told you I got the puzzle.
Yeah. Did you get it done?
No. Lord of mercy, bro. How many pieces is 1,000? It's a bunch.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And you were telling me, oh, you know, there's 4 of us. We'll knock it out in a couple of days. I'm like,
yeah, I got no help. Zero. No, that's not true. I got a little help. Nathan helped for a little bit, and then Crystal helped me quite a bit for a little bit, but most of it I did it by myself. But I got the border done. And then I started in. There's 2 cars on it that are blue, and they're very similar in color. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I tried blue for a while, and then I gave up. I was like, this is stupid. So there's a purple car. So now I went to sorting purple pieces and trying to put this purple car together, and got quite a bit of it done. But yeah, it's I'd say I'm probably, well, how much do you count the border? Is that a 10%? How much is the border worth?
The border on a 1,000-piece puzzle is probably, I don't know.
10%.
That's probably 7 to
5%.
10%, somewhere around in there.
All right, I'm about 10% done then.
I'm gonna give you a couple of hints doing puzzles. I do a lot of puzzles. Okay.
All
Number
right.
one is you're looking for a straight line. Anything that has an edge or a straight line, especially if you can find one that goes all the way across the puzzle.
Mhm.
And then you go around through your pieces and you're just looking for that line. You're looking for that straight line. And you
Yeah.
just buildings, if they have buildings or skyscrapers or anything like that, those are usually the easiest ones to start on because all of them have, like a pattern to them or whatever. And then the other thing is that when you've been sitting at the puzzle for about 15, 20 minutes, get the hell up and walk away. Okay. And then come back in about 5 minutes back to your puzzle. And you will realize like you find like 2 or 3 pieces right away. It's like when you sit there long enough, you get like puzzle blindness. It's like you can't decipher stuff. You walk off, you take a break, you come back, and it's like, oh, like there's 3, 4 pieces right there that fit. Why didn't I see that a while ago?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that is true. Like I took a
totally-
nap, but I came back and I totally built some of that purple car. You know what I mean? Like jumped right into it.
Yeah.
And then, but then, yeah, and then so then everybody was coming for Christmas yesterday. So it was like, well, we can't keep this here. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I need one of them package things like you telling me about the puzzle
Yeah, I got it on my table right now.
deal.
You
I
just
need
roll
one of
it
them.
up.
Well, anyway, I have a bunch of pizza pans stacked up. And I brought my table down. I got to set my table up and put the puzzle on the table down here, so I can work on it down here. But yeah, it's a work in progress. Let's just say that. So anyway, but yeah, I had a good day yesterday with the fam. Everybody came over. Amelia got to open her presents and had stockings for everybody, and it was good. I got they got me a giant pizza peel. You know what a peel is, right? You know that thing they scoop pizzas out of the oven with? That's a peel.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. They got me one of those for Christmas.
Use that on your jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Yeah, you could just scoop that sucker up and set it wherever you want.
They think I'm weird because I put the pizza on the rack. All right.
The pizza's supposed to go on the rack.
Well, the box even says that.
Do they?
Almost
let me guess. They put it on a pan of some sort.
Most people put them on a pan. Like everybody I know does that. I don't do that.
You slide that right onto the rack, man. That's
what
why
I do.
you get the crispy edges.
That's right.
It's the way it's supposed to do. It's the way
you get a little crispier crust that way. Yes, that's true. Very true. Especially if you put extra toppings on and stuff like I do sometimes, because I'll doctor my pizzas that I get from the store.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that helps them cook a little more too. So
I also like to get them when they first come out of the oven and I slide them onto the countertop. I like to grab the mozzarella or the shredded cheese and sprinkle that sucker real quick. Oh man, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I do too. Sometimes I add other stuff. I've added pineapple. I've added sausage and black olives, mushrooms before. I've had all kinds of stuff.
If I get a Totino's or if I get a Red Baron or something from the store, which I had this week because when I'm home alone, I ask for stuff that I can, I don't have to prepare or whatever.
Yeah.
But I always get the Supreme. I get it with everything on it. Nothing bothers me. So as long as it doesn't have sardines on it, anchovies. I don't want no fish on my pizza.
I don't want no Supreme pizza. But and I don't know if I can do it on a Totino's. Those are
small.
Those are a little bit different. Like you add cheese to it, right? But for sure. But I don't know about adding toppings. Those are kind of
Lacey got me a great value thin crust Supreme while she was gone, and I was very impressed with the great value brand. I thought it did very well. I was a little bit hesitant when I was opening the box. I was like, great value.
Yeah, I know. You probably got the same problem I have, is that you grade every pizza that you ever eat.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm like old Dave Portnoy or whatever. I take me one bite and I'm like, I won't quit. Like if it's Dave Portnoy, I'll quit if it's a bad pizza. I'm gonna finish the pizza. I paid.
Yeah, me too. Like it's just not as good as that one I had before. It's still pizza.
Yeah, it's still pizza.
It's just not as good as that one over there, but it's all right. Yeah, dude. I do the same thing. I end up grading them, especially if I get them delivered. I immediately open the box. And I'm like,
Well,
what
man,
in the hell? They missed like 4 mushrooms here. What are they doing?
well, it's not just that, but I worked in pizza for so long that when they deliver it to my house, I expect a certain,
Yeah. Expect them to make it the way I would, right?
Yeah.
Well, they don't. Just saying.
I had a good day yesterday. Went to church. My youth pastor, who's been our youth pastor for 10 years, 10 years, put in his resignation. He has found another church, Second Baptist here in Conway, and he's going to move from Wooster to Second Baptist in Conway, which it kind of sucks. Jake is one of the reasons that I enjoy going to church at Wooster. He's done a great job with the youth program. Hate to see him go, but he feels like he's kind of in a rut at Wooster. He's kind of feels like he's doing the same old things over and over again. And he prayed on it, and it's time to make a new start. They're not leaving Greenbrier. His wife owns the pharmacy in Greenbrier, so they're not going anywhere. He's just coming to Conway to do his job now.
Well, I can't say I blame him. I feel that same way. I've been looking at freaking colleges and stuff lately. I'm so crazy, but so this is a big deal for the church, huh?
Oh yeah, there were a lot of tears afterwards. It surprised a lot of people. It just, we'll probably end up losing some membership over it. I imagine because he's in charge of the youth, so I imagine a lot of the youth are probably going to follow him over to Second Baptist. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Like I said, Lacey's nephews just turned 14, and they've been in his youth program for the last year, and they really like Jake. So it wouldn't surprise me if they started going to Second Baptist. So I don't know. When we lost our preacher 12 years ago, I think it was 12 years ago. We lost our
holy moly, 12 years.
12 years ago, yeah, we lost our preacher. We lost quite a bit of membership over that. When he left, everybody looked at it as an opportunity to, bail ship or whatever.
Yeah, well, you lose some, but you get some new ones too with the new guy.
Yeah, maybe.
That gonna be you?
If my family ends up moving churches over to Second Baptist, I'm probably gonna go with them. I mean, ain't no point in me driving all the way out to Wooster if everybody else is going to Second Baptist. So
you need to go where you feel like it's good for you.
I have real qualms, I think is the right word, about leaving Wooster, because when my mom died, they opened up the church, they fed us, they took care of us during that time. And it was, that's when you get support like that, it's really hard to leave that behind. But Jake was part of that support. So, I don't know, man. It'd be interesting. It's going to be interesting because he's going to stay until after Super Winter, which is like 2-3 weeks away. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, this stuff happens, man. Splits and stuff happen sometimes.
Apparently, years ago, before I went to church there, they built a new sanctuary. And there were a lot of people that went to church there that didn't think they needed a new sanctuary.
Oh, yeah.
And they went ahead and voted to have the new sanctuary. And that split the church like in half. So, they were like, man, we'll go somewhere else. Okay. All right. Well, you don't get to use the new sanctuary. That's silly.
Man, people argue about the color of the carpet, man, for real.
We have business meetings. This is what always gets me about the fights that we have at church and stuff. And they're not really fights. They're disagreements or whatever. but we have business meetings. We are an open book church. Like when you come to our church, we give you a run out of how much the preacher's making, how much we spend on this, how much we spend on that, how much we have in savings. And the business meeting is open to the whole church. Okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And every time we have a business meeting, we have 10 guys show up. We have 10 guys show up to the business meeting. And then when they do something like decide to vote to build a new sanctuary, everybody gets mad. You know, say, well, why didn't you come to the business meeting? We even put in the bulletin what we were going to discuss at the business meeting, and y'all didn't show up. You know, so it always
sounds like church.
Yeah, it's silly stuff. Silly stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is. You can start involving money in anything, people get weird. So it's a fine line. You gotta walk there. It's good that you're open like that.
Yeah, it's one of the things I liked about this church was that they were so open with their money, and you could see where your tithe was going and all that. But then, because I've been at churches where it's like none of your business where your tithe is going. It's none of your business what the preacher is making.
I've been to those too. Yeah. There's a board that only those people are privy to that information.
Yeah, we're Baptists, so we have committees. We even have a committee on committees. Yeah. Honestly, I
know. I grew up Baptist. I know.
Yeah, that's the only problem I got with. That's another problem I got with switching churches is I'm going from First Baptist to Second Baptist. What? I'm going from first place to second place?
You're lower class.
If you're Second Baptist, you are not lower class, okay?
You ain't first, you ain't nothing. I'm just kidding. I don't know. They got all kinds of them now. Third, fourth, fifth, all kinds.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, anything else before we jump in here?
No, man, that was probably too much to begin with. So
Let's do this. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna change that. We got a couple shout outs. People passed away this week. Jimmy Carter passed away. I didn't realize he was 100 years old.
100 years old. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way or anything like that, but the last 5 years of his life, I'm not even sure he really knew that he was alive. You know,
no, he looked pretty bad.
He looked pretty bad. Yeah.
That's why. I can't say anything political. Never mind. But yeah, sad news. Jimmy Carter, if you're a Democrat, especially.
Well,
he was.
This sounds terrible. This sounds terrible, but I don't mean it that way. But because the president died, I'll get a day off this week.
What you mean?
We'll have a national day of mourning, and the post office will be closed on that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it happens every time a president dies. We'll put our flags out front at half staff, and then we'll have a day off. I think that's even a paid day off.
Okay.
You leave it to a Democrat to spend money like that after he's already dead. Huh? Yeah. It's a joke. It's just a joke.
Anyway, Jimmy Carter, man.
Jimmy Carter.
And then Greg Gumbel passed away too, man. 78 years old.
50-year career in broadcasting. 50-year career. That's crazy, man. If you just start thinking about the number of Super Bowls in 50 years, the number of March Madness tournaments in 50 years. Like Greg was doing March Madness when it was probably 16 teams getting in. You know what I mean?
No kidding. Like he's been, and that's what I'm most remembering for is the college basketball stuff, March Madness.
Well, that and his brother.
Oh yeah. I immediately think of his brother and his HBO show.
Yeah, where he tried to point out everything bad about every sport.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Real sports, whatever.
Real sports. How damaging real sports are. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I sort of remember that too. Yeah. Anyway, a couple guys passing, legends in our lifetime, we would say.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then we had the Liberty Bowl.
Liberty Bowl, baby. We took home a trophy. Ended up above 500, 7-6. Way to go. Way to go, Sam. Everybody's predicting you was going to win 3 games this year. You ended up going 7-6.
This is true. This is true. I guess they overachieved, huh?
They really did. Now, by Arkansas standards, as soon as we got past like that 3rd, 4th win, we were supposed to win the national championship. But we're Arkansas fans. We're unreasonable. So whatever.
This is
Goes 7-6, wins the Liberty Bowl, brings home a trophy, beat a top-ranked team this year. I think they overachieved, honestly, from bringing in a new OC, a new quarterback. Our offensive line got dominated all year long. Defense didn't there were a few guys that shined on both sides of the ball, but we definitely don't have a team of studs. You know what I mean? We've got like 3 or 4 studs and a bunch of regular dudes around the 3 or 4 studs.
That's the gist. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's tough to watch Oklahoma. That's why it's tough to watch them for me, because they got a bunch of studs.
Yeah, they should be a lot better. I heard an OU podcast talking about these money guys better show up next year. So I'm tired of paying all this money and we suck this bad.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, man. I mean, that's not a good look over there for them.
But what it really did, this ball game right here, watching it, was it gave me that little bit of hope and glimmer of the future that is going to give me something to actually, build on all off season and make it huge out of proportion. And by the time we play the first game next year, I'll be drinking the Kool-Aid again. And go Hawks.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
And we couldn't have drawn a better team because they lost as many kids as we did to the transfer portal. So it's not like we had, a team going up against a team out there. So
I don't think they lost that many, actually. They lost the major dudes, though. They lost the major guys.
I saw a thing that said that they had lost 27 and we had lost 27 or something.
Okay, that's crazy. I mean, I know they lost their quarterback and their running back didn't play.
Well, I don't know how many of those guys they lost were guys that actually played. You know what I mean? We lost
some of them
we lost some guys that, were sitting on the bench pretty much. So
we did.
We did lose some good guys too. But
we did about half and half.
So we've been talking about these bowl games and how it's transfer portal, how it's screwing all this up because these kids go into transfer portal and all this stuff. So why, if we're going to treat them like pros and we're going to pay them like pros, then why don't we give them incentives like pros? If we put an incentive in your NIL that if you play in a bowl game, you make more money.
Yeah. They might do that. I don't know.
Maybe they could keep these kids around to play in these bowl games. We'll give you $100,000 more if you score a touchdown in a bowl game.
Yeah, I wouldn't give them their final nil check until the bowl game was over.
Yeah, well, then you end up getting sued.
Well, this is the deal. You get your nil, last paycheck is January the 31st or something. You know what I mean, or whatever.
I don't know if that keeps them playing though, because if you get a kid hurt and he doesn't get to play the last 3 games of the season, he's still going to get his NIL money.
I know there was a lot of kids in the basketball transfer portal that they didn't enter the portal right away because they were waiting on that final check.
Yeah.
As soon as they got their check, then they hit the portal.
I think that you could keep these kids around more if you put in some money incentives in these bowl games. I can go into the transfer portal, or I can go and if I catch 3 catches in the Liberty Bowl, then I make another, $50,000 or something like that.
Yeah, you can also pay them all something for going to a bowl,
do it some sort of team thing.
Yeah,
but you don't get it unless the whole team goes. Oh,
well, you can do it that way, but you don't get your part if you don't go.
Yeah. We
So,
split that up amongst everybody else.
yeah.
Then
Yeah,
you
it'd
have guys
be like
going,
a bonus, you know. I mean, like the NFL guys, right? They'd be like, "Oh, he got an extra $1 million because he made the playoffs this year, or whatever."
yeah. So then you
Like,
can open up the transfer portal and you can incentivize these kids to play in their bowl games, and then you won't get every kid to do it, but you still might get quite a few of them to say, "Oh, I'm going to make that extra money," or whatever.
well, they're gonna change it here for long. They got to, not change
They
it,
got to
but
do something.
they've got to, because they don't.
Even
Everybody's
though
quit.
even though I do believe that a lot of these bowl games have been pretty good. I mean, they've actually been competitive and all that. So,
Most of them,
I mean,
yeah.
there were a few on Saturday that were pretty bad, but the Pop-Tart Bowl
Tomorrow,
wasn't one of them. Pop-Tart Bowl was pretty good.
yeah. The next 2 days are full of games, man, and it
What'd you
should be
think
good
about
ones.
What'd you think about that Cam Ward, man? Cam Ward got his record in the first half and then decided he was done.
What a loser, man!
He shouldn't even get the record.
I can't believe I rooted for that dude some this year.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I'm with you. I'm totally with you, man.
What the heck?
POS. That's what I'm calling him. POS. That's his new
What the heck,
nickname.
man? I mean, and then there's a minute left in the game, and they need a game-winning drive to win the
Yeah.
game, and he
Yeah.
still doesn't come in.
No, he was done. He had his record.
Oh, man! I wouldn't draft him.
It's definitely gonna come up if I'm a GM. I'm gonna be like, guys, you do realize, let's watch this tape right here,
Yeah. Well, speaking of tape, did you see this? You see this Carmono thing? Did you see this thing happening?
Yeah.
Now we're judging this on a 4-second clip. Let's keep that in mind. We don't know if this guy's been nut punching the whole game. We don't know. We don't know we don't know why. But either way, dirty as hell. Dirty as hell. Dirty. And we can't there ain't no place for that in the game, man.
You want my take on this? My take is I freaking love it, man. I hope Carmono steps on 18 other people, man. I hope he arm bars 5 of them. We need more of this in football. We've turned it into a bunch of wussies walking around, got to go to the sideline when they get hit in the head. And this guy's showing you what real football is, just stomping on people. This is just awesome. This is the worst. This makes me madder because of how stupid he is. Okay. You're in a bowl game. You have cameras all over the place. People are watching everything you do. Okay. If they can catch you on a hold, they can catch you stomping on a guy's ankle, you dumb SOB. Okay. And you don't come out and apologize for it until after it goes viral and everybody thinks you're a POS. Okay. And then you apologize for it. I don't know what the punishment is. I mean, I don't think the kid should be kicked out of football forever. I don't think that he ought to get the death penalty or hung from a tree or anything like that. But he definitely probably needs to be fined. He probably needs to run some bleachers. He probably needs to take some sort of therapy, because this is anger issues right here, which you want on your team. You want some anger issues on your team. But then at the same time, you can't do something stupid like this. This is how you end up with brawls happening. This is how you end up with somebody like Myles Garrett ripping off a helmet and beating somebody with it. This is not good team sport right here.
No,
and you're right. We don't know. The guy laying on the ground might be a total dick. Okay. I don't know. He might have said something about Carmono's mama. I have no idea. That's neither here or there. You've got to know when you can take your aggression out. And that is when the guy is blowing by you to sack the quarterback. That's when you need to take out your aggression on that guy, not on the guy laying on the ground. All right. It's like these Twitter All right. I'm scrolling through Twitter, and all of a sudden, and I know it's because you like watching them. There's a bunch of fights on here, guys getting in street fights, guys knocking each other out. What I can't stand in all those videos is they'll knock a guy out and the guy's laying on the ground, and then they walk over and punch him 3 or 4 more times.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
They do it in the UFC too. They'll knock a guy out and then they'll run over there, and the ref has to stop them from punching the guy. That bothers me. Okay, that shows where our society is headed. This shows that this kid needs some help. He needs some counseling. This is not good. And if it was a Razorback laying on the ground and a Texas Tech boy was doing this to one of our running backs, Rodney Hill or somebody like that, we'd be throwing an ever-loving fit about it.
This is true.
So, and this is not his first offense. Okay. So
it's a little bit different too when you like you were saying earlier, perspective. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Like I follow the team real close. I know these guys, like personal. I don't know them personally, but I know them more on their personal side than just as a football player. So it's hard to when you think something about somebody like, oh, he's a good guy, man. He's I like him, good vibes, all that stuff.
Like Dan Ward.
And then he does something like this, and you're like, now what do I think? Is this just he's been blowing smoke this whole time, and this is or is this just a one-time thing? I don't know what to think about whether or not to I don't know, not support him, because I'll support him either way, but I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that exactly.
Well, you just got to take it by the facts, and the facts are it's a dirty play and he shouldn't be doing it, and it's a dumb play because there are cameras everywhere. In today's modern day football, you can't do stupid stuff like this. It didn't in this ball game, but somewhere down the line, this could cost you a ball game. This not just a suspension, but it could cost your team a game. You're down by the goal line, about to score to win a ball game, and then you do something stupid like this because you can't control your aggression or you can't control your evil thoughts that you're having. And this will end up costing you a ball game somewhere down the road. You've got
that too, and I'm not saying he'll go to the NFL, but if he was going to go to the NFL, they watch all this stuff. You know what I mean? This will keep you from not being drafted by certain teams.
Well, I remember when Dominican Sue stepped on that guy's face, and he was out for a long time. Myles Garrett was out for a long time when he ripped Rudolph's helmet off and beat him with it.
Yeah, one dude kicked the quarterback in the head one time.
Yeah. I mean, it's
There's another lineman, but
it's physical. It's a physical game, and you're constantly especially when you're an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, you're constantly in a hand fight. You're in an MMA fight every time the ball is hiked with the guy in front of you. And those emotions boil over sometimes. And a pro athlete should be able to control that. Okay. And when you can't, then you probably not the best choice for a job if you can't control your emotions like that, because you're going to end up costing your team at some point.
Yeah, could. Anyway, that happened. It kind of went viral. It's a bad look on the university. It's a bad look on Carmona.
Well, here's the other thing. Like, how does he recover from this? Does this mean like next year, every time somebody on the opposing team falls down, Carmona's going to run over and help him up, pat him on the butt? I mean, you want your offensive linemen to be physical and you want them to have aggression. So there's just a fine line, man. There's a fine line. And lots of times we forget that these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that still have a crap ton of hormones running through them, man. A crap ton.
Of course, leave it up to Mizzou podcast here to stay classy, Arkansas.
Yeah. Mizzou doesn't know anything about classy. Okay.
No, they don't. Anyway, there was also another fight. ECU and NC State at the Military Bowl. Imagine that.
Mhm.
There was about I know this much. There was about a minute left in the game or something like that. I don't even know what happened. I couldn't find the story. Was so stinking long. But a big brawl happened. 8 players got ejected. There was a referee that got all bloodied up and knocked down and stuff. And so, yeah, it was quite the scene apparently. See, more of this, you know.
Yeah, you're seeing more and more of it. It's because, I mean, it's the world we live in right now. There's violence everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's violence. I mean,
pretty much. I mean, we watch football, so
yeah, football itself is violent. I saw a fight the other night in the NBA. Tyler Hero got thrown to the ground by somebody. Who the heck did he get thrown to the ground by? Who was that kid?
I saw something about that. I forget who it was.
Anyway, he grabbed a hold of his jersey. I mean, just slung him to the ground. You know, and it's everywhere. It's on the news. It's in our movies. It's on TV. It's in our video games. I mean, we are a violent people. So
we are.
You shouldn't be surprised. I'm always surprised that the refs don't take more abuse than what they do. Like, I'm surprised that a player has never punched a ref right in the face. I'm surprised that has never freaking happened. You know,
they will.
Yeah, I mean, I know that refs get touched and they get thrown out of people get thrown out of ball games for touching the ref and stuff like that. But I mean, I am just really surprised that there hasn't been more violence towards the referees.
Me too. Anyway, I saw
especially in like football and basketball, man. Yeah. The refs are so much smaller than the guys playing.
Yeah, I know it. I hate to keep bringing up the NIL thing, but here's another thing going on. Florida State's basketball coach, Leonard Hamilton's being sued by 6 players. I think it's 6 players for NIL compensation. Each one, I think they were promised $250,000, and they didn't get paid.
And the only thing that confused me about this story was, why is the head coach getting sued and not the university?
Yeah,
I don't understand. Like that, this story makes it sound like this coach is going to pay out of his own pocket or whatever, and that's
he's the one that promised them. You know, that's why they're suing him, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
how does that work? He represents the school, I guess.
Well, doesn't he have isn't there some sort of documentation in all this? We just going off a handshake?
No, there ain't no documentation.
So
it's supposed to do a financial aid package. That's how it's supposed to work, where they get, it's like, you know, they don't sign a letter of intent anymore. They sign a financial aid package. So this is what they get for going to school. This is, you know, they have to keep.
But all that stuff is in the financial aid package, though, right?
You would think so. You would think.
So this isn't just the coach saying, "Hey, you're going to get $200,000, I promise," and then there's no documentation for it. I mean, surely if you're going to go play for them, you would want that in writing somewhere.
You would think.
And I still don't understand why it's the coach being sued.
There's no contract, so is it really in writing somewhere?
That's what I'm saying. Like, when a university tells you, "Hey, we're going to pay you $1 million to come play for us," that's great. I'm coming to play for you, you know. But is that not written down somewhere, or I'm just walking in on your word that you're going to give me $1 million? Because that's stupid. You shouldn't take somebody at their word. And we got agents involved now, so I know there's got to be documentation somewhere.
Well, the agent definitely has some kind of contract.
Yeah. So I don't understand it. The only thing I don't understand about this story is who's getting sued. Like, I don't understand why the head coach is being sued and not the university.
Yeah, I don't know either. We need to
or the agents or something like that. Because if the university tells you they're going to give you $200,000,
well, they're not going to sue their agent. their agent's gonna help them sue whoever. You know, they're gonna get their money. They're gonna get their money. That's the only reason they're suing is because the agent didn't get their money. That's the only reason.
Just
If it was the kid'd be like, "Oh, I didn't get paid. What am I gonna do?"
I don't know, man. I don't know. The only part of this story I don't understand is why the coach is getting sued and not.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know the ins and outs of all that. I don't even know how it all really works. I don't know that anybody does.
That's one of the biggest problems we have with this is that we don't have some sort of hall monitor. You know.
Oh yeah.
We need a commissioner or a hall monitor of some sort that'll say, whoa. We need to do something about this. You know, whatever it is.
You're going to see more of this, man. There's going to be more and more of this happen. It's going to drive coaches to quitting because they're being sued. The threat of being sued, they'll quit.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. This is why you're going to see more and more former players or former NBA coaches coming down and wanting to coach in college.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, interesting story there. Then we had some NFL football yesterday and Saturday, actually.
Yeah. The games on Saturday, other than the Los Angeles Arizona game had a good ending to it. It was boring. Like the whole game was boring until the very end.
Yeah.
The other two ball games, Los Angeles just came out and put a butt whooping on New England, but Denver and Cincinnati, that was a good ball game.
That was a good game. I thought Denver was going to come back there.
The Sunday night game, man, Penix looked good. That was a good ball game.
Yeah, the Green Bay Minnesota game was good too. Minnesota was up big in that game, and Green Bay came all the way back.
Dallas.
And then that Philadelphia Dallas game was super exciting, wasn't it?
How in the? Well, I know how. By the time we got to halftime, we already had like 4 turnovers. But I mean, I honestly thought in the battle of the backups, Pickett against Rush, I really thought this would be a closer ball game. I thought that, Barkley would do his thing and we'd have trouble stopping him. But I mean, with Pickett in there and Rush has been playing really well. But then CD, I guess, didn't play. And then we just turned the ball over. We just kept turning the ball over. This got so bad that at halftime, I got up, loaded my dogs, and drove across town and did an 1.5-hour walk. And then came back and saw the final score. I didn't even watch the second half. I was so disgusted by this by halftime.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty ugly.
And old Jerry's just sitting among all the Eagles fans and they're just giving him hell. And I'm just like, well, you deserve every bit of this, man. Every bit of this you deserve.
And how about them Giants, man? Scored 45 freaking points.
Apparently, Drew Lock should have been playing a little bit earlier than when they decided to put Drew Lock in.
Apparently, my goodness,
and
dude.
Indianapolis, man, in control of your own destiny. You're sitting there lurking around the playoffs. All you got to do is beat the New York Jets and survive next week, and you might actually get in. And what do? You lose to not even my Cowboys lost to the New York Jets, okay, or the New York Giants. Or the Jets. The Jets suck too. It was just
totally shit the bed.
Just totally.
Hey, messed that one up, bro.
It actually made the first like the first 30 minutes of the Pat McAfee show pretty entertaining because he's a former Colt. And apparently he put out some tweet that went viral, and it was pretty much calling out the organization about how they're not creating the right culture. Like they have the players, they have everything they need, and the culture's wrong. Like when you have your starting quarterback tapping to come out of a ball game because he's tired He said, you got a problem with your culture.
Yeah. This
And
is true.
apparently his tweet just, it turned him into the enemy of the Colts. How can you're just a punter. You don't know anything about them. Like, wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh
You're
wow.
hard.
I thought he was beloved Indiana.
He was till he made that comment.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Turned on him quick then, huh?
Some of them did. I'm sure he got some support from.
He's from West Virginia. He supports them a lot too, but he's definitely Indiana.
Man.
Pro Indiana. You know.
Yeah. Well, he was going over he was going over all the people that he knows in the organization and all the people that they had let go over the years that were stupid moves. And this was all on his show. You should never let this guy go. You should never let this guy. And he was talking about when he was there with Peyton, there was a culture, there was you played as a team, and you can see that Indianapolis, they just don't have that, whose problem is that? Is that the head coach? Is that your quarterback? Is that who's your team leaders? Your team leaders should be stepping up and setting your culture for you.
I'd say that starts with the coach to set the leaders in the right way, and then the leaders need to lead everybody else.
So they're saying there's going to be up to seven NFL jobs open this year.
That's crazy. You want to pick them? Let's see if we can pick them.
Giants.
There's one.
Giants are one. Vegas is probably gone. Panthers. You can say goodbye to that guy at the Panthers.
You think so? So?
Oh, yeah.
Did they just hire him?
I don't know, man, but they did so terribly. Jets.
New Orleans, probably. Well, Dallas, Jets already fired their coach.
So that job's going to be open. Who
New Orleans, maybe. Jacksonville, maybe.
Maybe New England.
Cleveland.
Yeah, it could be Cleveland. Dallas is questionable because McCarthy's contract is up. Plus, all of his assistants, pretty much all of his assistants are up on their contract. So do you go out and get you a new coach or do you sign him up for another 4 years? So that's a questionable one. I don't know if McCarthy will be back or not. Jacksonville.
I feel like Dallas needs to go in a new direction.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
After watching this year's team.
Well, we got hit with the injury bug about mid-season. We lost our starting one of our Pro Bowl safeties. Parsons was out for 3 or 4 games. Dak pulls his hamstring away from the bone. CD's shoulders busted up 6 games in. We didn't start off very well. And then when we went through all that stuff, it was too late to recover. I don't know if you can blame the coach for the injury bug, but it's the first time McCarthy ain't made the playoffs since he's been there.
Well, the defense was a traffic cone to start the season anyway.
Well, see, we lost what's his name to Washington. He was like kicking ass for our defense. We lost him to Washington.
Yeah, I told you. I remember we talked about that. Oh, Dan Quinn. I remember talking about that at the beginning of the year, how much that was going to suck probably for Dallas, and it did.
You could definitely see, and they brought in, they do what they always did. They brought in Don Zimmer, and he was going to be, the next guru, and all he had done with the Vikings and all this. And all I can think in my head is the Vikings ain't done crap over the last few years. Like, it's not like they've won Super Bowls or anything like that, but you're selling me on this Don Zimmer or whatever. And then Micah Parsons came out and talked about how much he loved playing for Don Zimmer. And I'm like, okay. But sure didn't see the results on the field. I mean, we had a couple of ball games where we played really well, but like the first game of the year against the Saints, they dropped 40 on us right after we had lost in the playoffs, losing by 40 something. And then we freaking, it snowballed from there, man.
Totally did, man.
I don't know if you bring back, here's how I feel about it. I don't care. I think the players on the field make more of a difference than the coach on the sideline. I'd like to have a good coach, but I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that would just be, oh, outstanding. We need that guy. You know, I would take Gruden, but I don't know if Jerry has a relationship with Gruden or not. I'm not sure Gruden could stand Jerry. I don't know. Belichick's already decided he's going to college. Dion, I mean, they're still trying to work out his deal in Colorado. If the Dallas job comes open, is Dion actually in the running for that?
I bet he'd be trying.
You talk about setting a culture. You're going to be setting a culture. You bring in Dion. I'm not sure if it's a good culture, but you're going to be setting it.
Oh man, I don't know. He may like the college game and stuff.
He may like the college game. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Now, there's probably an assistant coach sitting around somewhere that, you know, would do a fabulous job that nobody knows about or has never gotten a chance or something like that. But I can't think of one. Not, you know, one doesn't pop to mind or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen in Dallas.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there was a lot of NFL games, and one more tonight. You got the Lions and the Niners tonight. I think we both took the Lions in this one.
The Niners got nothing to play for. I don't think they got Christian McCaffrey. I say they got nothing to play for. I heard a guy talking because I was kind of wondering why Micah Parsons was still out there, you know. But Micah Parsons has incentives in his contract. If he gets this many sacks a year, he gets X amount of money. If he gets so some of these guys don't want to sit out. Some of these guys have incentives in their contracts and stuff that they're shooting for.
I see.
So I don't know. I'd still take the Lions in this one. I just don't. The Niners they've been one of those teams that has really disappointed this year.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
Coming off weren't they in the Super Bowl last year? They were, because Dre Greenlaw ended up pulling his Achilles running onto the field.
Yep. Excuse me. Then you got your NBA schedule for tonight, if you care. Again, nothing on TV that you can watch unless you got NBA League Pass. But if your favorite team's on there, and there's their schedule for this evening. Nothing really stands out there too much. Of course, Luka's out for Dallas. You saw that, right? He's injured.
No, what did he do now?
I want to say calf. I'm not sure. He's out, not playing.
I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he didn't hurt it playing defense. He must have hurt it on the offensive end.
Probably. Anyway, then you got your SEC men's basketball schedule for tonight.
Big.
Nobody really playing anybody worth a crap that I can see. So
I saw that there are still 4 unbeaten teams in the NCAA, and 3 of them are in the SEC. Is that not crazy?
That is crazy. Yes. We got Tennessee, Florida, Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then there was some others like the Demon Deacons or somebody like that.
I think it's Drake.
Drake. It was somebody I was like, who is that? I had to really study.
Yeah. So anyway, here's your schedule, and then of course tonight the Hogs play against Oakland, who beat Kentucky out of the tournament last year.
Pretty much. This team right here is the reason that we have Cal as our head coach.
This is true. Same head coach, a bunch of different players, of course. There are 2 stars. One of them transferred to Arizona. The other one went to the NBA. Jack Golke, the guy that hit the 10 threes or whatever in the tournament game. He graduated. So not quite the same team, and they're ranked they're like 300 and something, or they're not very good. They've had a bunch of close games, and and they ain't really played anybody to know. Well, actually, they have played a bunch of people. Actually, hang on a minute, let me pull this up because I was thinking, holy shit, they ought to have like the toughest schedule in the country.
This can't be tougher than the Queen, or
Dude, it was pretty tough. I was thinking, what the heck?
But when they get into conference play, all their RPI goes out the window, though. So that you got to
Okay.
play when you're a small school like that. You got to play these,
Okay.
quad 1, quad 2 teams because you're not going to get any quad 1, quad 2 teams when you get into season play.
They've played Boise State,
Okay.
Illinois,
Okay.
Kansas.
Illinois is good.
Kansas,
Wow.
Eastern Michigan,
Hmm.
Michigan State,
Wow.
Oregon State. That's a D1.
Beavers. The Beavers. Yeah.
That's it for the big one. They've had a pretty tough schedule. I mean, they haven't won very many. I think they're 4-9. I think.
So they beat Eastern Michigan. And, did they beat any of?
no.
Did they beat any of those teams that you just named?
No.
No.
Did
Did they play a close game with any of those teams?
Illinois only beat them by 12. Oregon State only beat them by 6.
Okay.
So Hawaii only beat them by 3.
All right.
They beat Loyola Chicago.
All right. So the main thing I want out of this is I want to see how we look after this long break that we had.
Yes.
I don't want any injuries. No injuries. Clean ball game. No injuries.
I want to see all 9 dudes dressed out and in the lineup like one time. Can we just have that one time?
This would be a good one right before season play.
Yes, we need everybody. We need everybody back healthy and on deck for this freaking.
Do we have
crazy
another one
schedule.
before the 4th, or is the 4th our next one?
4th's the next one.
Oh man.
Yeah. Starts right off hot and heavy.
Daggum, dude. And I mean, there's not a break anywhere. There is not a break anywhere.
No, I remember looking at the schedule at the beginning of the season, and we thought, Missouri won't be very good. Oklahoma won't be very good. Georgia won't be very good. And all these teams are good, man. It's crazy.
Every team is good. This is going to be wild, dude. This is going to be wild.
We're talking like, okay, I was going to bring this up to you. Have you heard of Bart Torvik? I think I told you this. All right, Bart Torvik has a website. It's kind of like Ken Palm, where they have all the the data.
Yeah, net rankings, all that stuff.
Okay, well, they got this thing called Teamcast. Okay, let me pull this. Let's see if I can pull this up here. Where's Arkansas? Okay. All right, let me see if I can share my screen here. I'll show you this because this is kind of crazy. Let me find it. Teamcast. There it is. All right, you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, so it's we're currently ranked number 35 based on their analytics or whatever, or 10-2.
All right.
And then it shows the games like it tells you, it predicts every game based off of
all right,
and stuff like that. So it tells you who should win. Arkansas should beat Oakland, right? It predicts Tennessee to win, Florida to win, LSU, Missouri, both going to win. Kentucky's going to win. Texas, like there's several games they've got picked for us to win, I think. And then down here it tells you we're predicted to go 19-12 for the whole year.
8-10.
8-10.
Okay.
In the conference.
Okay.
Which would put us, I think, let's see, where does it say? Somewhere it tells you a seed. Let me back up here. I don't know where it tells you, but it should tell you if you make the tournament or not. But anyway, this is still this is still a tournament resume.
Well, I
Because
was
this
gonna
right here.
I was gonna ask you the question. Okay, I was gonna ask you this question.
Okay.
So let's say you got 16 games inside the SEC. Okay, and
Mhm.
right now we're what? What's our record right now?
10-2.
10-2. So let's say that we go 500 in the SEC, and we go 8-8, which is going to be 18-10.
9-9. 9-9.
9-9. My bad.
Yeah.
9-9.
There's 18 games apparently.
18. All right. You're telling me that's a tournament team. Like if I go 500 in the SEC, I'm getting into the tournament.
I'm telling you, you're probably making the tournament. Yes. Because of all the quad one wins and losses, you know what I mean?
And out of this predictor thing, how many times have they been right? And how many times have they been wrong so far?
Let's see. Let me see if it tells me here. I don't know how to tell that. This was the, what is this? The spread? This must be the spread.
Is it? Why are some of them really dark blue and some of them aren't? Like Michigan's really dark blue.
I think I think those count as quad ones.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. No. No, those are neutral site up here.
Oh, okay.
But down here it's the I don't know what it is down here. Why they're highlighted. I guess they have those are the ones they're going to pick to win.
Well, if that's true, then they picked us to lose against Michigan. So
Yeah, they probably did. Yeah.
So we've already won one that they said they thought we weren't gonna.
This is true. Yes.
All right. So I don't believe a damn thing on here. Okay.
Well, it's just a predictor, you know what I mean? We can come back and look at it after each game, and this stuff will change. You know what I mean? Like it's going to change through the season as games are played and stuff. So, yeah. So there's that. It's pretty cool to check out. It's free. So, I mean, if you're a data nerd like me, it's kind of fun to look at. So, let me stop this.
I'd like to know how often that is correct.
Fairly often because they use it a lot for a lot of stuff. And I was thinking about I could test that theory by gambling, but that costs money. I'm actually doing all right now. I built my account up to like 3 times what I put in there, so that's good.
So you got $3 in there now. That's great.
Got 300, okay. Dang, but I only bet on football now. I don't bet on anything else. Football only.
Well, you're not going to have it for very much longer.
I know.
You're gonna have to bet on something else.
I like betting on college basketball. It's just hard because of the spreads and stuff. Like, be like 35 points. Like, what the 35 point spread? Jeez. It's a little harder to do it with basketball.
Yeah. I always like watching bad beats with Scott Van Pelt. The game's like, oh, all you need is, all you need is a field goal. All you need is a field goal.
All right, man. Before we get out of here, we want to make sure we talk about our mental health, even though Christmas is over.
Yes, but the new year is starting.
Yes, the new year.
And the new year comes with what people call resolutions.
This is true.
And then 2 weeks into the year, we all get depressed because we've broken every one of our resolutions. Okay. So you might still need this 988 number here in a couple of weeks. So you just keep this handy. 988, it leads you to the suicide hotline. They'll talk with you, text with you. They'll do video chat with you. As my buddy says, don't do life alone. You just, reach out. If you know somebody, spread the number around. Tell people about it.
Yes. Don't do life alone. Also, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, all that stuff. Join our Discord. Link is in the description. And we appreciate everybody that's watched us this year so far. And we got, one more day of this year.
Yeah.
So we appreciate everybody that tunes in.
Yeah. Everybody who watches tomorrow on New Year's Eve gets a special gift. So make sure and tune in. You're going to get a special gift. We're going to mail it off to you.
You're in charge of all that, man. 'Cause I ain't got nothing to do with that.
So I got one more thing. I heard a joke. Okay. And
okay.
I'm gonna warn people up front. This is a joke guys laugh at and women don't. So, don't run in and tell your wife this one and think she's gonna bust up laughing, because she's not. But your buddy will. Okay. Why do women rub their eyes when they wake up? Because they ain't got balls to scratch.
Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, you're probably right. Oh.
And the reason I found that women don't laugh at that joke is because they have no context. They've never had them to scratch. They don't know how wonderful that is first thing in the morning. So they don't get the joke.
They don't know. They don't. All right, man. Well, enjoy your evening. Probably watch a little football and the Hogs. Actually, be watching the Hogs. Yeah. So join us in the Discord for some chat about that. And
I'm sure I will be saying all kinds of stuff in the chat that
yeah,
depending on how we're doing.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
This guy needs to go back to Kentucky.
All right, man. Well, enjoy your evening, and I will catch you later.
All right, brother. Peace.
Thanks for watching our show. Remember to subscribe for more shows on the network. Smash the like button, share, and comment.